This weekend is opening weekend at Harrah's Hoosier Park. We have 14 live races on Friday starting at 6:15, 13 live races on Saturday starting at 7 o'clock. It's always exciting when a new track opens, and this is also our debut for 2024. Matt, welcome back.
Our season debut for season number, I don't know, it seems like probably a dozen or something like that. But we are back with a bang with Harrah's Hoosier Park opening Friday night. And I believe we're going to highlight a couple of races here, and you're going to tie in a couple of DRFS promos, and should be a lot of fun going forward.
Yeah, in honor of opening weekend, DRF has a lot of little goodies. You can look on your bottom left-hand corner. There'll be a little QR code there. We have free PPs. We'll have live video. Obviously, this video will be up there. And best of all, I think, is there is a $50 bet get. So if you bet 50 on the weekend, either Friday or Saturday, any bet you want, then you'll get 50 in your account, I think, the following Wednesday, which is a pretty cool promotion. And that's what we kind of centered this video around is I went through the card on Friday and found two horses that I like, and then I kind of forced Matt to pick horses in those same races. And hopefully one of them will be a winner, and that's the one you key in on. And if you don't win, you'll still get your $50 anyway, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's free money. How could you pass up free money?
Absolutely not. We're going to take a look at the first race, and it's race number 3 on Friday. Figure that one will go up right around 7 o'clock or so, I would think. And this is for winners of 2, but not more than 4 races. And the horse I'm keying in on here is Dragon Perfect. You know, if you look, this is the first time, 18 career starts, the first time this horse is dropping in for a tag, which to me is always a key. You know, when these horses drop in for a claiming tag, the trainers usually want to send them out ready for fear that they might lose the horse. I went back and watched the qualifiers, and the qualifiers were pretty good, Matt. What stuck out, obviously, he only has one, and he only finished third, and he was 6+ lengths back. But what I think the key is that the horses that he lost to, he lost to General Dolan, who's won in sub 150 time each of the last 2 years, and he lost to a horse named, I believe it was Call Out My Name. That's the name of the horse. It's hard to tell because we abbreviate the names in the last 3. Call Out My Name was a 150-1 winner as a 3-year-old last year. So he lost to 2 pretty quality horses here. So I don't think the third is as bad as it might seem.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously the distance back in the qualifiers not necessarily as important as the horse's individual final quarter or final time. Obviously, if you look at the beaten lengths and then you look at the competition, that tells a much better story. But listen, it's always tough at the beginning of the meet, or it could be tricky. We have horses that have been racing and have a recency edge on others, horses that are coming off 1 or 2 qualifiers in preparation for the start of the meet, or horses that are just haven't raced in over a month or 5 weeks or 6 weeks. So you get kind of a whole a mix of them, and it can kind of prove tricky, but it also kind of makes some horses stick out. I think obviously horses with the recency edge, or at least sharp qualifier to count as recency edge, obviously are going to get the bulk of the attention, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and everyone, just keep in mind, a lot of these horses are coming off the qualifiers. You can go onto the Hoosier Park YouTube page, and you can watch these qualifiers for yourself. They're all up there from the 13th or the session before that, which I believe was on the 9th. You can watch them all, view them with your own 2 eyes and make your own determination. But before we move on to the next race, Matt, you got to tell us who you like in this race.
I have to go first.
I went first. I told you who I like. I like Dragon Perfect. That's it. There's my pick. Dragon Perfect.
Is it
all.
A cold win bet? $50 win bet, or you're breaking it up, splitting up into 2 races, or because my horse is probably going to be kind of chalky. The 2, always a laser. Is listed as the morning line favorite, probably rightfully so. This guy was 5 for 10 in the money last year in 2023 at Hoosier Park. I like the aggressive qualifier. So they kind of tiring in the lane doesn't bother me that much. And he'd basically, talking about horses dropping in for a tag, he'd, for the most part, been racing against straight non-winners at Miami Valley most recently. And those are tough races. So from an inside post, I can see trainer driver Mike Peterson being aggressive here because I think in these types of races you do want to be close up, and I think he's going to get it done. I'm not maybe running to go bet $50 to win on the horse. Maybe try a couple of Jacksons underneath. Your Horse Dragon Perfect, the 6 Cash with Joe for Tom Tetrick, Trace Tetrick. Maybe something to prove class-wise, but is in good form over at Hawthorne. And the 9 horse, Overnight Celebrity, who might have been my top pick if not for the far outside post, which might make things difficult considering he hasn't shown a lot of speed. But I'll stick to the inside with the forwardly placed horse, and that's the 2 Always a Laser.
I think in general on this card, I'll probably stick to a lot of win bets, only for the fact that there's so many question marks with horses coming off layoffs and coming in from other tracks that, it's going to be hard to key in on multiple horses. So I figured if I can find one that I like, I might just go with the win bet there. So I'll go with a $25 win bet on Dragon Perfect. And then we'll move on to race number 9, and maybe we'll go with another $25 win bet in this race. This is the Open 2-3 handicap. Well, it's not. I don't know if it is handicapped. It doesn't say handicap on the card, but they go for $18,000 on the pace, and this is one of the features on the card. Field of 8 here. It's a pretty good race, I think, overall. But for me, what it came down to is that I really liked what I saw, in the qualifier from number 4, Crooked Smile. We're going to take a look at that video, here. And basically, he's on the lead the whole race, puts in a really strong mile, comes home in 27. And, if you look really closely, you could see the driver, Mr. Ross kind of urges him on a little bit. I kind of like to see that in the qualifier. It shows they're trying to get the horse really, ready for it. Yeah, it's nice to see a horse under a death grip too at the wire, but it's also nice when they ask the horse a little bit and then the horse goes on and then, they let the horse cruise home.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you can expect a quicker back half than front half for the most part. And this guy, he played the part. The 27 last quarter, I know it's a long stretch sprint, but still, it's one of the quicker last quarters you're going to see, especially this time of year with these quality horses in qualifiers. I'm kind of using the same strategy as the other race we discussed, and go with the recent sharp logical class horse, and it's all rolled into the 6 Spring in his Step A. Another one that you're not going to get a huge price on him, and he's probably a deserving favorite. Just comes from a top barn, Jeff Culliper, Tyler Smith. You see, he only had 10 starts last year, but he was 5 for 10. And he's improving this year with 2 third-place finishes, but he's definitely, like I said before, those races at Miami Valley are tough, and especially their top-tier races. And he's been right there and competitive with them. And I think he's ready to come back to his home base, so to speak, and potentially dominate this field.
Well, that's fair. You know what? And I don't mind taking a short price with this promotion here, because if you bet 25 to win and he pays $4, then you're 50 and you're still getting the other money. So it's like, there's a nice little bonus there for your betting thing. Another thing I like about Crooked Smile is also he's kind of the class of the field. Made over 400,000 in his career. Had a sub 150 winning mile last year. I really think this horse is going to come into this race in good form. Whether or not he's going to win, that remains to be seen, I guess. But what other things can we look for on this card, Matt? I mean, you're talking about a lot of horses shipping in. Do you just want to stick to the horses as you have been that have been racing recently, or would you take a shot with a horse that's coming off the ball?
I personally, kind of played safe and looked to stick with the horses that have a recency edge, preferably with actual races and not qualifiers, and actual races that have occurred in at least in the last 3 weeks or so. Is the value necessarily there with those horses? Probably not. If you're looking for big value play, you got to look between the lines on horses that are off significant layoffs or something like that. But like I said, I like to play it safe, and I basically will side with the general public and assume that horses with the recency edge that look good on paper the drivers will have more confidence and will be driven accordingly, which means forward placements up near the front, which no matter how long the stretch is at any track, you still need your horses somewhere near the front, to survive. So, yeah, not much value, but I guess you can go for maybe more volume wins, than big value wins.
Well, opening weekend in Harrah's Hoosier Park certainly features lots of wagering options. There is a $7,500 guaranteed pick five starting in the first race, and these bets can carry over, so you might want to pay attention to the late pick five if it does, because that pool could get pretty large. And there's a super high five, I believe, with a guarantee on it as well. It's a nice night of wagering both Friday and Saturday. We have the free PPs and the live video, as well as the bet get offer from DRF Bets. You'll want to check that out. Good luck.